Alrighty, guys. I just want you to drop a comment in there if you know who Steve Urkel is, because he is in my class right now.
No, I'm gonna be naked.
Nope.
We're recording now. There is no nudity in my classroom, so I'm not sure why he said that. I would pan around, but I don't think I can do that either. All right, acid rain. We're on page 420, and I know what you people are thinking out there in YouTube. Yeah, it's only 2:29, so why is he saying 420? Well, it's the page 420, yes. All right, acid rain. Isabella, what is acid rain? Wrong answer. DeMar.
Rain that is acid.
How acidic does it have to be to be considered acid rain?
5.
What?
Or 5 or below.
Andrea.
Oh wait, it's not 5.
It's not. You said it was 5.
I said 5.5 and below.
Oh,
Pretty close. That's how your book describes it. Now, you may see something on a different source, but for the most part, the book and most of the sources I see, acid rain is typically about 5.5 and below, and then normal rain is about 5.5 to 7. Although most all rain is acidic for what reason?
Carbonic acid.
Carbonic acid. Good. Carbonic acid comes when the water, as it falls through the air, what gets dissolved in it?
Carbon. Never mind.
You're close, actually.
I am. Carbonic acid. I'm sorry. CO2.
CO2 dissolves in the water, forms carbonic acid, and yes, it becomes slightly acidic. And then if you have the combination of nitric oxides and sulfur dioxides, and those form nitric acid and sulfuric acid, then that can lead to the rain becoming more and more acidic. All right, number 32. Acid rain and deposition is due to nitrogen oxide and sulfur dioxides from anthropogenic, which means human causes, and natural sources in the atmosphere. We talked about a couple, CO2, which helps to make carbonic acid in the water that falls. And also sometimes like volcanoes can release lots of sulfur and cause some acid rain. And so that's number 32. Number 33, in your notes, nitric oxides. So nitric oxides that can cause acid deposition come from motor vehicles and coal burning power plants. So basically burning fossil fuels, coal and oil byproducts, basically. Okay. Sulfur dioxides that cause acid deposition come from coal burning power plants. So when coal has lots of sulfur in it, and relatively speaking, and when it's burned, that sulfur dioxide get in the atmosphere, it forms sulfuric acid, and then that's a component of acid rain. Nitric oxides also can get in the atmosphere and mix and form nitric acid, and can be another component of acid rain. Now, and then the other thing that's unrelated to acid rain, nitric acids can mix with VOCs and form what? Nitric oxides can mix with VOCs, like in urban areas, in the heat and form photochemical smog. Good. And components like byproducts like ozone. Good. Very good, Antonis. All right. Number 34. Acid deposition mainly affects communities that are downwind of coal burning power plants. So, first of all, what is acid deposition again? Go.
Deposit of acid into the atmosphere.
Yeah, so acid deposition, depositing acid. Now, it could be depositing it on land or in the water. Now, we're going to spend quite a bit of time in the next unit on water pollution, and we'll talk about how acidification affects bodies of water. It can be very, very problematic for bodies of water, actually. So, but also acid rain falling on land can be a problem because it can change the pH of the soil. And when you change the pH of the soil, what does that affect, Demar? No glasses today?
No.
It looks different.
I know.
His eyes are small.
Can you see today?
Bigger.
I was like, I got contact.
You think you can take your earbud out?
All right. It's in my ear. I did not know that.
It's in your ear hole. Yes, the left one. Simona.
It's always in his ear.
It really is. Like, This is the only time you didn't notice that.
I don't notice it
Like,
ever, man.
it's always a mayor for every.
What was the question?
I don't even know at this point. What was the question? I'm gonna have to rewind this just to find the question.
You said if the pH.
Oh, how does acid rain affect the soil?
Yeah.
Well, it messes up the pH, and then like the plants still grow right because it's like, oh, pH feels wrong. And,
That's one way to put it. Yes. So change the pH of the soil. Plants don't like it, and they're like, ooh, no, this doesn't sound good. So when most plants need a roughly neutral pH to grow, and when you lower the pH, then it makes it difficult. Basically what it does is cause nutrients to leach out. They can kind of get pushed away from the topsoil, and it makes it harder for those plants to absorb the nutrients that they need, like the NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, other nutrients. And so they can't get as many nutrients, they can't grow as well. So it has a negative effect. Now, there are a few plants that like acidic soil. Blueberries, strawberries, potatoes. Blueberries like really acidic, like down in I think 4 to 6 is where they grow best. People need to check stuff out before you plant something. But aside from kind of a small number of plants that like acidic soil, most like to be in that neutral pH range and do the best there where they can absorb the most nutrients. Good. Acid deposition down. Oh, wait. What is the word? What does it mean to be downwind of a coal burning power plant?
Wait. Setting the direction of the wind blows in that.
What does it mean to be downwind? So you don't want to be.
Oh, it means like, so if you're at a power plant, the wind like blows in and it brings all that gross air into the area.
Yeah, so you don't want to be past where the prevailing winds, where they're blowing past the power plant. So for us, if we had out here to the west of us, like let's say we put a coal burning power plant out by CVS. Well, the winds here generally blow from west to east, and so that would pick up that smog and toxic chemicals and whatnot and blow them our way. And so we wouldn't want to be downwind. If we were going to put a coal-fired power plant, we would want it somewhere where it's blowing out away from town to the least amount of people and have the least impact on the people that lived in that area. So that's something that has to be considered when you're, building industry, when you're building power plants. How is it going to affect the people around you? Let's see. Good. Number 35. Acid rain and deposition can lead to acidification of soils and bodies of water and corrosion of human-made structures. So bodies of water, there's this effect called acid shock, and it's where you get like, it snows all winter. Snows all winter. All you people up north know what I'm talking about. We don't ever get any snow here. And then in the spring it melts, and a lot of that, if you have acidic snow, because it melts in a short period of time, it can flow into a body of water, and if it's acidic in nature, then it can cause the pH of that water to drop really fast, and that's called acidic shock. Good. Which can be very, very bad for bodies of water. Now, or it can harm structures. On page 420, read figure 1510 for us, Reagan.
Hadrian's Arch. This monument near the Acropolis in Athens, Greece, has been damaged by acid deposition. It is made of marble which contains calcium carbonate and is susceptible to deterioration from acid deposition and acids in the air.
Okay, so marble is made of calcium carbonate. It is the metamorphic, squished under heat and pressure form of what type of rock? I need to shave.
Adrian.
What type of rock is under heat and pressure forms marble?
Sedimentary?
Chalk.
Tom's. Good. So,
Wait, which one was it?
yeah, limestone. That's what I was going for. Limestone. Some limestone is formed from chalk. You're correct. Also, as you can see here on this antacid tablets, this is the cheap generic Tums. What does it say there? Calcium carbonate. Same stuff in marble, same stuff in limestone, same stuff that makes up shells of aquatic organisms, coral reefs. okay? Stone and rocks found very far inland is made of limestone because usually it was formed in the oceans long ago. And so this calcium carbonate, why do you take this?
It's an antacid, so
Antacid, so it's
it's
A
basic.
base.
It's basic, good. So it's a base. It's an antacid, so it can offset the effects of that or neutralize it, as it says there in a second, in the next part of the notes. And basically what's happening is you got a lot of acid in your stomach, you take this as an antacid, kind of balances it out. Same thing like in the soil. In the soil, if your soil is too acidic, what can you add to make it less acidic?
Tums.
Yeah, and these are actually made from, I looked it up, it's made from chalk. Now, I do not advise anyone out there to eat chalk. I'm sure they purify it and make sure there's no harmful impurities in there. Also, the chalk that people ride on boards with, well, not the dry erase kind, but the other kind. I'm pretty sure it's compressed real hard, so I don't know if your belly would digest that really well, or you'd have a white chalky poop. Who knows? But anyway, these antacid tablets is basically made of the same constituents. Okay. So, where do we go? I got off on a tangent there. Corrode human-made structures. Now, this happens over time, obviously, as that erodes. It can also corrode and affect natural surfaces, like what rainwater that's naturally a little acidic running through calcium carbonate can form what? Well, no, I mean the carbonic acid in the rainwater running through what type of rock that's made of calcium carbonate would form what? I said a lot of what ifs out there. Okay, so in the next one, well, just skip to the last part of the notes there on part F. Caves. How are caves formed? Most caves are formed through erosion. It's a chemical erosion, though. Okay, so there's chemical and there's physical erosion. Well, I guess it's a combination of the both since the water's running through. But in the rainwater, as it seeps down into the ground where there's limestone, it's naturally a little acidic. The limestone is basic, and that acid eats away at that basic limestone. And over time, it forms caves and stalactites and stalagmites and all that as the water runs through there and drips off. So in 36, regional differences in soil and the bedrock, okay? Did I get that right? Yeah. Soil and the bedrock affect the impact of acid deposition it has on a region. So in a region where there's lots of limestone, even if you have lots of acid rain, its effect would not be as great in regions that don't have limestone to kind of offset that. Since limestone is basic, it offsets some of the effects of that acid rain. Acid rain deposition in that region, such as limestone's bedrock's ability to neutralize the effect of acid rain on lakes or ponds. So if you have a lake or pond, there's lots of limestone around there, it can offset the effects of that acid rain. Now, let's say tomorrow you're out getting ready to plant your garden or food plot, and your soil is like 5.5 to 6, so it's fairly acidic, and you need to raise the pH. What are you going to go to the store and buy? What did you say?
Shock.
Reagan?
Something that's limestone-y.
Can you just like
What do they call it at the store?
Um,
Yes, they call it lime.
is it?
You can buy bags of lime, either in a powder or a little pellet form. It's like $5 for a giant 40 or 50 pound bag of it. And you can go spread it out and then mix it in your soil or throw it out on the top. A lot of it gets washed away that way. But if you can mix it in, and then you can reduce the acidity or increase the pH. Now, how would you know if you needed to do this? That's the question to ask yourself, Simona. So, you can, I know our county extension offers this, and I think most of y'all's out there probably do too. They send you a little, or you can go by and pick one up. It's a little cardboard box that looks like a Chinese takeout with the rice in it. You know what I'm talking and you take it and you fill it up with soil. It tells you like you dig down so far, you fill it up with soil, fold it up, tape it up, send it off. Ours goes to Auburn University. And for about $7, they will send you back a detailed soil report that tells you, okay, you got to tell them, like, are you planting vegetables or blueberries or whatever you're planting? Let's say you're planting vegetables, not potatoes. So they'll be like, okay, you need to add this much lime per acre. And so that way you don't want to add too much because you don't change it too much, but you want to add enough where it's significant and it helps you out. And so they'll give you a detailed report on what to add in those areas. So anyway, I think that's all of our issues on acid rain. Tomorrow, that chart y'all filled in the other day on sources and effects of different pollutants. On the back side, there was a map of acid rain. We will be filling that out tomorrow, so don't lose that. Yes, ma'am?
I don't know if this is relevant to anything that we're talking about. What are mothballs made from?
I don't know. You should look that up for extra credit. She asked what mothballs are made from, and I don't know.
Everything is extra.
It's if I say something's for extra credit, that means I have no idea. I think they're made from some kind of toxic chemical that you don't want to consume or be around. And
Mothman.
but they make your clothes smell fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
I don't know what mothballs are.
Girl, you put them out in the yard.
Girl, you put them out in the yard. You guys take care.